Hey, Dr. Fred, TMT. Hey, I'm a spiritual being on a human journey, fulfilling a soul purpose. We're all moving through this together. These TMTs about taking us all through a transformation, that we can fulfill our soul purpose and live a better life, the reason why we're here. So I have a question for you. How does God take you through a change? How does God take you through a change? Well, the real question may be, are we willing to listen? How well do we listen? Because we're all here to fulfill a soul purpose. The whole universe, God is guiding us along that path. And we go through that path until we become conscious of that purpose, and then we get to fulfill it. Every human being seeks that thing that's bigger inside us to be fulfilled, that we can contribute to the lives of other people. And the best life is actually becoming conscious of that and knowing it. But what's the process? Hey, usually how do we know God wants to change? Because what do we experience? Pain, right? Because we get off that path, pain, we get back on. And then all of a sudden, I find the gift, man, that worked out well. Then what do we have? Blessing. So then we go to change. Oh my God, there's pain. That's how you know God wants you to change. And then what do we experience? Blessing. And then pain, and then blessing, and pain, and then blessing. And this is what our life is like. And when we're young, we're more ego-based. Our will, we want to do things that are right. We want to do it our way. What do we end up going through? More and more pain. So the older you get, you're like, I don't want to have pain anymore, right? I just want to have blessings. I've been through pain. But see, pain has a purpose, because it either gives us a gift, a skill, it gives us courage, or it gives us faith. But pain is part of life. It's just part of life. Pain is inevitable. Pain ignites change, meaning pain initiates change. We go through pain. We want to make a change, but pain is short-term change because we know pain is inevitable. Suffering is unrelenting pain. What's that mean? The pain that's not going to go away. So pain is short-term. Suffering is endless, right? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is an option. So what makes change permanent? Actually, pleasure. Actually, blessing makes change permanent. How do you know? Well, how many people are married? I mean, do you go through short-term pain for long-term pleasure? How many people have kids? You go through short-term pain for long-term pleasure. You can go by. Okay, so all of our life, this is how we're living our life. We're going back and forth from pain to blessing, pain to blessing, pain to blessing, all the way through. But what are we really hooked on? What do we really want? We want blessing. Okay? So now that we know pain is inevitable, it's part of life, pleasure and blessing makes change permanent, we're going to give you 5 steps. How many steps? So you can move from pain into blessing. How cool is that? So what's step 1? Step 1 is, first, you have to decide. You have to make a must decision. What's a must decision? I'm done. I'm changing right now. What's that mean? Hey, that's when you're in a marriage. You're like, you know what? This isn't working. I'm done. We need to have a discussion. Why do your kids get grounded? You know what? I'm done with this bullshit, basically. You're grounded. Why do we change careers? Because I'm miserable. I know here's where I want to be. This is what we're doing. Why do I want to lose weight? Because I'm done feeling this way. You know, why do we change our diet? Because I'm done. Really, what it is you're done. Step 1 is you got to decide, make a must decision. Why do people continue to suffer? Your suffering is related to what you're willing to tolerate. That's it. Your level of toleration is directly proportional to the amount of suffering that you go through. So it's like, I'm done. Why do people suffer? Because they're making should decisions. They're shoulding all over themselves. That's what it is. There's too many shoulds. There's not enough musts. And that's why we have all this suffering. Step 1, decide. Make a must decision. Step 2. Hey, what is step 2? Okay, have a vision that's bigger than we are, because you have to move toward. What are you moving toward? We're moving away from pain and moving toward blessing. So number 1, you got to decide, I'm done. Doesn't even mean you know where you're going. You just know you're leaving this point right there. Step 2, I got to have a vision I'm moving toward, because we got to move toward pleasure. We got to move toward blessing. So that vision has to be so clear, and keep it in front of you, because that's what's going to take you through the short-term pain, is moving toward the blessing. You're all doing this in your life right now. Step 3. What's step 3? We got to take empowered action. Okay, we made a must decision. Man, I got something I'm moving toward. I'm going to act right now. Okay? What's that mean? Hey, God can't guide you until you move. Otherwise, it's just a great freaking idea. Great imagination, but we're not doing anything. You need to put empowered action. The hardest step is the first step. So I went to UPW, Unleash Power Within, Tony Robbins, walking across 2,000 degree cold. You're standing in front of the grass. You got to move, man. But if I'm going to put that foot down on 2,000 degree coals, I'm going to put it down and I'm moving. You hear people that jump out of airplanes because they want to skydive. I'm sure I haven't done that. The hardest step is that first step out the door, right? What about getting married? What about getting into a relationship? What about changing a career? Any major must decision in your life, the hardest step is the first step. All you got to do is take one step. But when you take one step, you can not even know what to do. But if I could take one, I don't know where the second step is, but if I can take one step today, then I can follow guidance, which is step 4. Keep the vision in front of you. So when you take that step and you keep the vision in front of you and you believe it and you know it's part of your purpose and you're taking everything, all that faith into action, then God can guide you. It says in Psalm 23, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You're supposed to walk through it and you're supposed to keep walking. That's it. Take more steps. Keep the vision in front of you. Take more steps. You're supposed to walk through the valley, not build a house in it. How do you get to blessing if you're building a house in the valley of pain? You can't do it, man. You got to keep moving because you're going to go through this. You got to move through the pain so you can get blessing, because surely life, this is inevitable. You're not going to avoid this. This is a tool. This may be how God is guiding you through your soul purpose. You got to move through the pain so you can get the blessing. Keep it in front of you. Walk through the valley. What's step 5? Let's see. What's step 5? You got to find the blessing in all things. How do you get rid of the pain? By finding the gift. How do you get the blessing? By finding the gift. I get through the pain by finding the blessing. Now, in our immaturity, we want to do it our way. We have shitloads of pain. Okay, I don't want to do that anymore. So now what do? In every pain, I find the gift. Because when you find the gift, then you can get rid of the pain. So if you don't want to be in pain, find the gift, because that pain has given you some skill, it's given you courage, and it's given you faith that you can actually fulfill this blessing. You can fulfill your soul purpose. You can get to a more fulfilling life, and this becomes a lot less. So let's find the blessing, find the gift. Let's focus on that vision. Let's walk through the valley, and when we run into this isn't a big deal. I know it's temporary. All this too shall pass. I can move into the blessing so I can be a blessing to others. When I am blessed, I can be a blessing to others. So let's move out of our pain. Let's move into the blessing. Let's fulfill our soul purpose. We can contribute to the lives of others. We can make humanity that much greater. Hey, this all comes out of you are more powerful than you think. The online coaching group's coming up. I'm going to let you guys know about it. It's being final steps are being constructed right now. I'm going to let you guys know. Please share this everywhere. There's so many people in pain. They're locked in the pain of their humanity, but we can live in the blessing of our divinity. So share this, comment. I love you guys. Every time I travel somewhere, I have more people coming and saying how much they rely on these. So I love you guys. I'm very appreciative. Thank you. See you next week.